always on your side. This is First Coast News at 6.
We are following breaking news for you tonight at 6. A robbery, an alleged kidnapping, and an auto theft, all connected, stretching over 9 miles this afternoon in Jacksonville. One JSO officer injured seriously and rushed to the hospital. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Jeannie Blaylock.
And I'm Heather Crawford. Now, this story is still right now developing, and there are so many elements. So I want to break it down for you, what we know at this hour. Now, this all started as a robbery at the Lucky Charms Arcade. That's near Old Mayport Road in the Mayport area. We're told some sort of chase between the suspect and police then took place. So new eyewitness video you're looking at right here shows officers chasing a silver or gray SUV through a Mayport neighborhood this afternoon. In this video, that SUV speeds past officers down a dead-end street. Then it zooms past them on its way out. This video was taken on Rudder Road just south of the Wonderwood Expressway. We have live extensive team coverage of every angle, including Troy Kless, who's at Memorial Hospital tonight, and Eric Alvarez, who's at the scene of the crash. But we want to begin with Jeff Vallon, live in Mayport, where this all started. Jeff?
Heather, good evening. And as we've been reporting to you that there was a robbery here, as you were just talking about at the Lucky Charms Arcade right behind me, those red lights behind me. Now, a lot has come together for us just since we last reported about a half an hour ago. So a woman working here told us that she had a gun pulled on her. We don't know whether there was one or more suspects, but I did just talk with a gentleman a few minutes ago who tells me this, follow me along here, that a suspect ran across the street over this way, over toward Rudder Road, over to his neighborhood, randomly went into his house and kidnapped his 84-year-old housemate, a gentleman who was recovering from recent back surgery, forced that elderly man into his own car and then took off with him in the car. Apparently the carjacker headed northward toward Wonderwood Drive and the Mayport Road intersection, where that, we believe, is where the suspect vehicle struck an officer, seriously injuring that officer, him or her. It may have been a female officer. We're trying to confirm that. Then eventually made their way southward and over toward Atlantic and St. John's Bluff, and crashed into a pole down there. Now, our friend tells us that he has been talking with police all afternoon. Let's hear from him about his friend's condition.
It's not very good. He's in intensive care. The fact that he just got out of the hospital with back surgery and that he's had a heart attack.
84 years old.
And 84 years old.
Now, we haven't been able to confirm the conditions of any of those injured, but he also mentioned that the suspect was injured as well. We know nothing more than that. The police tape has come down. Although the Lucky Charms Arcade is locked up and closed for the night. This was the scene of another robbery just 2 months ago. Right now I'm going to send this over to Eric Alvarez. He is at Atlantic and St. John's Bluff, where that crash eventually apparently ended the chase. Eric?
Miles away from where you were just now explaining that to our viewers. So obviously a lot happened between these two locations. What I can tell you right now is this area, St. John's Bluff Road and Atlantic Boulevard, still blocked off to traffic as the investigation continues. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office urging drivers to stay away, saying it's unclear how long this stretch of road is going to remain closed. I can also tell you, just a few minutes ago, investigators had a drone up in the air trying to get a different kind of perspective of this scene. We're still waiting for an update from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. In the meantime, we are continuing to learn more through social media. Within the last half hour, JSO tweeting that the officer who was involved was actually outside of his car when he was struck. And here at the scene, users have been posting their videos to Snapchat. I'd like to give you a closer look at this one, because this user was actually on the other side of the street from where we are. This is the closest vantage point we have of this crash. It also appears to have happened shortly after the car hit that pole. Now, we do understand that there is an SUV, it's a gray SUV, that it suffered extensive damage that struck this utility pole. And as you can see right here, this user shows a tire that is in the road. That tire is still in the road that is behind me. So that SUV did strike that utility pole. The power lines came down. At one point, the grass on the other side of Atlantic Boulevard caught fire, was eventually put under control. And once again, right now, this stretch of road is completely closed off to traffic as the investigation continues. I can tell you, in speaking speaking with a lot of the people that came out to see this commotion. A lot of people concerned about how the officer is doing. Troy Kless live at Memorial Hospital now with an update on that. Troy?
Thanks, Eric. You mentioned a lot of people are concerned about that officer. Soon after JSO tweeted that the officer's family was notified that they were injured, tons of prayers poured in over social media. But right now here at the hospital, we are still waiting to learn more about exactly what his condition is, what the exact extent of those injuries are. But you see behind me, there is plenty of police still here at the hospital. Now, what did change since we last reported it is that there was a crime scene unit van that was parked in front of the ambulance entrance. That van has since left, but there is still plenty of officers here on the scene, and there was hospital security still here as well. So I did try reaching out to the hospital's public information officer, their emergency room, but they have not yet been able to provide me an exact update on what the officer's condition is right now. Of course, they tweeted making sure that the family was notified about what happened. So once we learn more about the officer, who it was, what their condition is, we will of course relay that to you both on air and on now and online. But I'm reporting at Memorial Hospital. We'll send it back to the First Coast News studios.
All of this police activity causing some major traffic delays. This is a look at our First Coast News traffic map to show you just where the heavy delays are right now. The red shows where it's backed up, and JSO tells us that due to police activity, Atlantic Boulevard eastbound is shut down right now from St. John's Bluff to Mindanao Drive, and it will be closed for an extended period of time. Now, Atlantic Boulevard westbound is closed from Kernan Boulevard to St. John's Bluff. So if you know anybody who needs to head that way home during rush hour, let them know to find a different route. So again, just to recap the developing news that we've been following since about 3 o'clock this afternoon, JSO says that a police officer was hit by a suspect's car and seriously injured this afternoon. A robbery, kidnapping, and car theft that started at the Lucky Charms Arcade on Mayport Road sparked a chase that ended in a crash at St. John's Bluff Road and Atlantic Boulevard. The officer who was injured has been taken to Memorial Hospital. Be sure to stay with us for the very latest, both on air and online. And if you haven't already, download the First Coast News app on your phone. We will push alert you updates as we get new information. It is free. You can find it in the App Store and Google Play Store.
Now to more breaking news tonight, this time out of Putnam County. We've learned the son of Palatka City Commissioner Tammy McCaskill Williams was shot and killed. The shooting happened on New Year's Eve. On your side, Shelby Danielson joins us live now from Palatka with more about this. Shelby?
Well, Jeannie, it happened in the middle of this apartment complex, and the shooting happened right here actually at this park, and you can see some of the remnants left behind from New Year's Eve, some of the firecrackers on the grass. This is where that shooting happened about 10:30 that night, and we're told plenty of witnesses were out here. They said there was actually a large group of people, about 20 plus, maybe up to 30, who were out here. So a lot of people saw this happen. A couple of shots may have been fired, but we know the victim, 23-year-old Jami Jones, was hit once in the stomach. And families here tell us that when officers arrived on scene, they tried to revive him right here in the park. Unfortunately, they were not able to do that, and so he did later die that night. Now, the suspect, Rondell King, was arrested. He was questioned by police. However, he was let go, and he's actually not arrested at this moment. They're still investigating. They say Stand Your Ground may be involved. We did have a chance to speak with some family members of the victim, though, and they said he was such a nice young man. They can't believe this happened.
And everybody knew him as being real polite. If he can help someone, he would. He helped the disabled lady right here, the other disabled lady down there. You know, he was real. He wouldn't bother anybody. He wouldn't harm a fly. You know, and everybody was just puzzled and didn't understand. And it kind of shook a lot of us out here in the neighborhood.
And again, the suspect, Rondell King, even though police did release him, they said it is possible that he could still be arrested and charged. Now, we did reach out to him through a friend here to ask if he wanted to comment, but he declined. Coming up all new at 7, what family has to say about their relationship between the victim and the suspect. For now, reporting live in Palatka, Shelby Danielson, First Coast News, On Your Side.
Shelby, thank you. Now to an On Your Side investigation tonight. A quilting scheme that targeted holiday shoppers and took them for thousands of dollars. The Better Business Bureau is warning online shoppers to beware of a deal that is too good to be true. Handmade quilts for just $59. Ken Amaro is on your side tonight with the details.
Quilting is a work of art, fine art, that requires a lot of labor, a lot of stitches to accomplish just this. But now some are capitalizing on someone else's work. The Better Business Bureau has received a number of complaints.
They had to find all those images somewhere, so that took some work.
Complaints about a quilting scheme on the internet.
BBBs around the country, as of right now, have 126 complaints against the company, all of which basically have gone unanswered.
Tom Stevens with the Better Business Bureau says the victims are from Oregon to Jacksonville.
We've got probably 15 sites that have done the same thing in the last 3 or 4 months.
Quilts.
Quilts.
Websites advertising handmade quilts at a very cheap price, $59, but failing to deliver.
Everybody that we've heard says they have not gotten anything they ordered.
This alone, you're already at, you're at several $100s already by the time.
The quilting community is aware of the scheme and says the bogus websites are using others' work to catch their victims. So $59 is not a realistic price.
No.
Jamie Kofi runs Cinnamon Quilt Shop.
If you want something that's handmade, I mean, even for a lap quilt, you're looking at $400 to $500 on up to, for queen size, could be $5 to $7.
BBB investigators say the websites took holiday shoppers for a ride. Shoppers who thought they were getting a deal and got nothing. The Better Business Bureau says the probability of those victims recovering their money is slim and none. But there's a warning from this. If the price sounds too good to be true, it probably is not true. Ken Amaro, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, Ken, thank you so much. We have some breaking news we just found out about moments ago we need to pass along to you. The SWAT team is now on the scene of a Mandarin apartment complex. We have some pictures coming into us we'll show you soon at the View at Mandarin Apartments. Witnesses say a man is holed up inside. He is refusing to come out. This is in the 4000 block of Lasco Road. And right now officials tell us that Lasco Road in Mandarin is shut down. We have a crew on the scene. We're working to learn exactly what's causing it, what else is happening. But again, Lasco Road, SWAT situation, it's shut down to traffic right now. Now to a second On Your Side investigation tonight. Mental health services just a text message away. In just a couple of weeks, Flagler Hospital will launch a partnership with Crisis Text Line. It connects people in need with a crisis counselor, all through a text message. While anybody can use the text line, as Juliet Dreyer reports, there is one group the hospital is hoping to reach the most.
There's still a stigma when it comes to mental health that could prevent people from seeking help, but this program aims to erase that. Inside Flagler Hospital in St. Augustine, Community Health Associate Paige Stanton has been working for months to bring Crisis Text Line to St. Johns County. The concept is simple. Someone in crisis texts "Care for You" to 741-741 and is connected within 5 minutes with a trained crisis counselor. That counselor first tries to de-escalate the situation, then connects the person in need with resources in the community. Stanton believes the program will be especially helpful for kids and teens. In fact, she says Crisis Text Line data shows text messages spike during the school lunch hour.
The kids are actually sitting at the table, and you may think that they're texting their friend or their parents or just talking to anyone, when really they can be talking to one of those crisis counselors. Crisis Text Line will launch in St. Johns County January 18th. At that time, again, all you have to do is text "Care for You" to 741-741. In St. Augustine, Juliet Dreyer, First Coast News, on your side.
Thanks, Juliet. And if you have a story that you'd like our On Your Side team to investigate, send us an email to onyourside@firstcoastnews.com. We have a lot of breaking news happening right now. We'll check on the latest right after this break.